because I want Tim the Tool Man. They never really see my face.
I like your face. You have a great face.
I don't. On March 1, people in Houston and Henry County are going to the polls to elect a new district attorney for the 20th Judicial Circuit. Today we're with Pat Jones, who is one of the candidates seeking election. Pat, tell me about Pat Jones.
Well, I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm a Christian. I want to walk humbly. I guess there's Micah 6:8 is an important verse to me. But as district attorney, I want to keep our community safe. That's what's important to me. I want Houston and Henry County to remain safe havens. I want them to remain excellent places for us to live and to raise our families. I want to keep our neighborhoods safe, and I'm serious about keeping our most violent criminals locked up and behind bars.
Pat Jones is born and raised in Dothan?
Well, I was not born here, but I really claim here. My parents were, my dad was born and raised here. My grandparents were born and raised here. My parents moved back here in the 60s. My wife and I moved back here in the 80s. My oldest daughter and her husband moved back here in the 2000s. And now I have grandchildren here, and I want them, my grandchildren, when they get to be old enough to have families of their own, to come back to Houston County as well. I think this is an incredible place to live. We are so blessed. We have very low crime rates, and I am serious about keeping that, as I mentioned a moment ago, a safe haven for families.
You graduated from schools here in Dothan?
I did. I went to Girard Elementary, and then I went to Houston Academy. I graduated in '76. I went to Huntington College. I got a degree in accounting. I worked for several years in the banking industry. I spent about 12 years with South Trust Bank. I went back to law school at night. I studied hard, and with God's grace, I graduated at the top of my class. I was by far not the smartest, but I knew that God had given me two talents, hard work and discipline. And I applied those, and I was able, what I believe, to outwork my other classmates, and with God's favor graduated at the top of my class. I have a strong work ethic, and I promise to bring that to the office of district attorney. I'm also a people person. I love to work with people from all walks of life. I've always enjoyed working with law enforcement, particularly I guess the International Brotherhood of Police Officers has endorsed me, and they've supported me, and they support my candidacy for this office as district attorney. I have a favorable reputation for always being prepared. I work like it depends on me, but I do know that it really depends on God. I pray about every case. I want to do what's right in every case. I believe, I'm not a politician. You know, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and running for office is a very new experience for me, but I believe that God has called me to this task, and that He will equip me with the strength, the wisdom, the fortitude to do what's right at every turn. I want to be the next district attorney, and I humbly ask for your support and for all our voters.
When elected, what are some of your ideas for the office of district attorney?
That's a good question. I guess the first thing that's on my agenda would be to try to meet with the judges and see if we can't bring better technology to the courtroom, similar to what we have in the federal court system. I think they have an excellent system there. I think it's helpful for juries, and just overall the presentation of the case to the jury as the finder of fact. Second, I want to bring better technology to the district attorney's office. I think that's is needed, and it's important. There's a lot of good things that we can do, and to improve what they have there. Not that what they don't have is good, but we need to go to more of an automated, being able to search things electronically, and I think that would benefit the district attorney's office as well. Additionally, I would like to further the McGruff Crime Dog program, the Zero Meth program, and there's some other programs. There's one that I'm particularly interested in, my heart's in, is trying to help at-risk teens that may be in harm's way already because of their environment at home, where we could set up a program whereby they would have some mentors that they could speak with that would kind of help them. I've spoken with Mr. Watford. He had just gotten back from a seminar out in Texas, in Houston, Texas. He had a seminar last week at the library that I attended that was excellent. about helping maybe the middle schoolers, but also I want to bring it forward, if possible, to those teenagers and then the young adults that are so easily trapped into drugs and alcohol abuse. It seems to be something that traps our young people a lot of times, and I would like to facilitate some programs. I've spoken with, I guess, Dr. Jones, and I've spoken with Larry Flowers, Reverend Wayne Knight, and at Bethesda, and I just really, Wayne White, I'm sorry, Reverend White and his father about facilitating these type programs. I think it would be beneficial to our teenagers and our young adults that easily fall into these traps. The fourth thing I'd like to do is I'd like to expand the Neighborhood Watch program. I think that's a great program. We have it in my neighborhood. I'd like to expand it to every town and even our rural communities. Maybe form some type of network and kind of neighborhood watch for them as well, so when they see something that's out of place or suspicious, they have a number to call that a police officer or a deputy sheriff would be dispatched to investigate what they see. And with the advent of technology and cell phones and that kind of stuff, it's easy to take a picture of a car or a truck or something that's driving by and forward that to the appropriate law enforcement for them to investigate. The next thing is I'd like to do is to expand our drug court program. We have a good drug court program, but it could be better. And I think that's vitally important. I think it's the Class 1 program that's being underutilized at this point in time. And I think that it would benefit all concerned for that to expand. I would also like to do, in the same vein, as the vet program, a vet court. But I know that it's being done in Mobile.
And vet court is veterans.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Veterans, to help the veterans who have served our country, and they may be suffering with PTSD or some type of order that's come out of their service to us, and maybe we could help them in that regard. I've spoken with Dr. Jones about that as well, and some other people. We want to coordinate with all the right organizations, but I think that would be a great program. I'd like to also see if we can't remedy the problem that we've got with the tremendous backlog with the Alabama Department of Forensic Science as it relates to particularly drug cases. Some of these cases are taking 2 and 3 years and even longer sometimes. And so we understand that there's a tremendous backlog. They're understaffed, they're underfunded, they're doing the best that they can with what they have. However, justice delayed is justice denied. And I'm thinking, I've heard some good programs from some other lawyers about some programs in Shelby County where they're clearing most of their dockets or most of their cases 60 to 70% through an information. You know what an information is, where they don't have to go to the grand jury. They can go ahead and plead guilty to an information, maybe get them fast-tracked into maybe the drug court program and get them the help that they need and help alleviate this tremendous backlog. The last thing that's on my mind was I'd like to develop a special group of prosecutors that handle crimes against children, that they could work hand in hand with them throughout the entire process, that they could go to whatever courtroom. A lot of times we have a particular assistant district attorney assigned to a particular judge, and sometimes that gets moved around, and then victims have to, talk to new ADAs, and I think that would help alleviate some of that problem. I know that they have a good program. I've spoken with Ms. Cheryl Walker, who has excellent staff out there working with the Child Advocacy Center, hand in hand with them to make sure that those cases maybe can be improved in the way that they're handled. I'm not saying that they're being handled in an improper way, but maybe it'd be smoother on the children, and I think that's important.
March 1,
yes,
the people in both Houston and Henry County elect district attorney. Why should they vote for Pat Jones?
Well, that's a great question, and I believe that I have the experience that's needed. And you say, why would you have the experience? Well, for the last 15 years, the buck has stopped on my desk. I've been the boss. I know what it means to make the payroll. I know what it means to handle the budget. I know what it means to make every important decision on every case. I didn't have a supervisor or someone to go and ask permission from. I developed the theory of the case. I interviewed the witnesses. I drafted all the motions and all the necessary documents in preparation. I orchestrated the strategy in every single case. Not only do I have the experience, I have the skills earned through hard work in both prosecuting and defending both misdemeanor and felony cases. I've developed these skills by trying all kinds of cases in all kinds of courts, from federal to state to municipal to probate to bankruptcy court, from A to Z, from assaults to zoning matters, from simple traffic cases to serious violent Class A felonies. I believe the job of district attorney requires leadership in these skills because of my experience as lead attorney for the last 15 years, coupled with my background in accounting and finance. I believe that I am the best candidate.
Anything else you want to tell the voters before March 1?
I do. I ask them that they pray about it and do what the Lord tells them to do. Whatever that is, that's going to be the right answer. And I want to be your district attorney. I humbly ask for your support and your vote, Ricky.
Thank you.
Thank you.